What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Here we are with another reaction. In this, we have this one Dutch saying changed how I see my life in the Netherlands. Before we dive in and hear this phrase that changed everything, if you guys happen to enjoy, please don't forget to smash that subscribe button. Give the video a thumbs up. Also, if you'd like to support the channel by becoming a member, all you gotta do is hit the join button to receive your exclusive benefits. Talk to me, my guy.
So there's this one Dutch saying that has got me thinking wider and deeper about many situations around me and just generally how to approach living in the Netherlands. Perhaps for me, it's the most important Dutch saying of all time because in many ways it feels reflected in the culture and in the people as a whole, at least from where I'm coming from. And the saying is, doe maar normaal, dan doe je al echt genoeg.
Oh, dang. All I heard is do normal. From other ones, that's the only part of the saying I heard. I ain't never heard the whole saying.
Which translates as just act normal. That's crazy enough. Or be normal. That's crazy enough. Now,
I get that.
let me just issue a little caveat. Before you start typing out, your history lesson in the comments, which you're absolutely allowed to, like the title of this video says, these are simply my views and interpretations of this particular saying and how I chose or choose to apply it to my life. And again, before you start typing, yeah, but it's not your language, you don't understand it fully and you can mistranslate or misconstrue it. I know, you're right. But you don't need to get worked up. My interpretation of it doesn't harm anyone. It's just an expression and how I see it happening in my life. Now, there are a lot of schools of thought around this particular saying, and like any school of thoughts, there's bound to be controversy. From the translation I've personally heard from Dutch people, the general consensus for this particular saying is that it's about Dutch humility, that it's unnecessary to be overly boastful or seek attention, especially with your possessions or your achievements. And for me, I see this reflected in the general atmosphere here in the Netherlands, where everyone seems content to have their little piece of the peace, to enjoy their space and to live a quality life without being inconsiderate of others. And although, on the other hand, as broad and subjective as this saying goes, there are a lot of people who actually dislike it because for them it carries a negative connotation. There's this school of thought that leans toward the principle of conformity for this particular saying, that everyone should behave the same way and not try to stick out too much and not draw unnecessary attention to themselves.
That's not what I pull from it when I hear it. When I hear do normal, like you said, be normal, that's crazy enough. Like, hey, like, there's no need to be anything more than yourself. There's no need to try to be something that you're not. Do normal. You don't always have to go over what's it called? I can't think of the word. But you don't have to overachieve, right? I mean, if you do want to overachieve, by all means, go for it. And it sounds like they don't mind overachieving. They just, that Dutch humility, right? No need to brag about your possessions, maybe how much money you got. No need to like be very braggadocious or cocky. But yeah, I feel like it's okay to be very ambitious and want those things and have those things, but just have humility about it. You feel me? But yeah, I just don't think it's conformity. I just think it's saying like there's no need to be anything other than yourself. That's how it sounds to me. I could be completely wrong.
To go with the flow, not to stand out. And this paints a picture of the kind of normalcy that, it boxes an entire people into a space where the extraordinary things aren't celebrated, but rather frowned upon. And in some cases, this saying is interpreted as a way of telling someone that they are embarrassing themselves and they're doing too much and they're not being themselves, or that it's unnatural to stand out. It basically doesn't celebrate being eccentric, if I should put it that way. Now, some of these views were expressed on a Reddit page, and I will read out a few of these conflicting interpretations I found there. This first one says, well, it's usually said as a command to someone who is doing something out of the ordinary. If someone is wearing strange clothes, acting wacky, or has unconventional views, the term do normal is said by bigoted people who think they know how to live.
Yeah. I don't like that.
And this one says, nowadays, I think it actually means that people just can't stand other people being different. Fear of change. And this one also says, it always has. Honestly, you can't do things out of the norm without being judged.
Oh, that's tough. I don't know. I don't know if what how I interpreted it is right then, because it sounds like, of course, there are going to be people who say it's this. People are just going to interpret it differently at point blank, and so there are going to be people who feel this way, but I'm sure there's going to be people who disagree with these comments.
And this one says, do normal makes me feel uncomfortable. Should we not celebrate differences and eccentricity? I feel this encourages a lack of tolerance in society. Now, while all these takes are true to the experiences and subjective interpretations of these Reddit posters, I tend to agree more with this particular one response, which said that do normal just usually means being aware and considerate of the people around you, or being eccentric is fine as long as you don't bother other people with your eccentricity.
And I think that there's nothing wrong with that statement. I think there's nothing wrong. Yeah, being eccentric is fine as long as you're not bothering other people. Like, don't be considerate to others, right? Come on now, inconsiderate. I like that.
And yeah, I'll go further to add that as long as you don't go out of your way to make so much effort to be a nuisance to another person, then you're fine. That's what I think it is. Now, when I compare the society here to where I come from, there is nothing do normal about how expressive people can be in most European cities that I've visited. Very expressive. I'm not saying that as a generalized notion that there isn't discrimination or intolerance or bigotry toward people who choose to experience this reality in their own way without bothering anyone. However, it's so much freer than what I have experienced all my life living on a different continent. So now that I've shared enough of what this saying evokes for most people, here's how I am personally choosing to let it affect my view on things. And I think the concept of what is normal is basically the reality our collective threshold can handle. And that's already crazy enough if you think about it. Our entire existence on this planet revolving in perfect speed around the sun and space, and minor changes can just be catastrophic. That's already crazy.
Yeah.
And before this turns into some deep, dark arguments about existential crisis, I'm just simply saying that normal really isn't normal. We've just learned to adjust and adapt to things so much that it's become mundane. And so for me, I'm guessing the biggest lesson would be to remember the beauty in the mundane, mostly. Now, before something becomes even mundane or normal, it grows from newness, and that's often very exciting or spannend. An example of such a journey would be, deciding to relocate and the process of planning, working, selling your stuff, flying.
You feel like once that newness wears off, like you said, things become mundane, it becomes repetitive. It starts to get boring sometimes. But I don't know. I feel like, and then you start looking for something else. I feel like that's the way I think about a lot of things. It's the way I think about a lot of jobs. Like in the beginning, it's cool, but after so long, I don't want to do that. So like people talk about doing one job for like 20 plus years, bro. I've never thought that I would ever work anywhere for 20 plus years, just because I don't know if there's anything that I want to do that long that I think that I truly just love doing. I don't know.
Out, finding a home, registering yourself in a municipality and so on. It's crazy to imagine when it was happening, but now it feels normal. Then you get to the point where you have your own routine, and all of this isn't to be taken lightly. What is now normal was very crazy before when you think about it. So for me, this saying makes me appreciate the mundane. When you are aware of the journey or your journey to get to this peaceful state of affairs, you are grateful for it. So yeah, normal is crazy already. Enough if you're doing it right. And there's no need to overdo it. On the other hand, culturally, I may be wrong, but this is how it comes across to me. It translates into a general contentment I'm seeing among Dutch people. For example, as a freelancer coming from Ghana, I'm used to a very strong hustle culture. Entrepreneurship is just in our blood. We've seen it all our lives with our mothers, our aunties, and all the women who carry very vibrant, or they carry the very vibrant and informal trade that feeds both the economy and their families. What I have noticed here, and have a rather interesting story to share about that. Is that after registering myself as a freelance creative, my first gig came from pursuing an idea and pitching it directly to a client.
Oh.
It worked out. When I share this story with native Dutch people I know, they are very impressed by the confidence to actually go out there and put yourself out there like that. And I think that's where I see the big difference. Most Dutch people have the privilege of pursuing careers and jobs that are, first of all, available and often very good enough to get very basic yet high quality of life. One doesn't become overly ambitious or find extra ways to keep chasing for more and more and more. When this level of quality is your normal, then too much or doing too much when you already have that much is a tad crazy if you think about it. It's built into society. So the lesson for me isn't to lower my ambition in any way, no. However, it makes me take a critical look at what's in front of me, what's going on smoothly at present in my life, and not overlook it while stressing myself about what's to come. So for me, this one saying puts a lot of things into perspective about life here in the Netherlands, and that's a very personal view that I thought I would share.
I feel like I did that, and I'm also like just a very ambitious person in a sense. In my head, I am, but I guess if you look at my day-to-day life, you might not see it. But I do have ambition. I do have dreams, desires, goals that I do want to accomplish. But I look around at where I'm at now. I see my beautiful wife. I see my incredible son. We have a roof over our heads. There's food in the fridge. There's clothes. I'm happy with everything that I have, and I feel so blessed already. And I'm so thankful. But there always is that just ambition to and desire for more. And I don't think that's a bad thing unless you let that start controlling your life. Unless you let that start running. Which I don't, because I'm about to get off this video and go hang out with my son. We're going to play some basketball and have some fun. I'll see you guys on the next one. Make sure y'all go subscribe to his channel. He seems like a really cool guy. Subscribe to this one, like the video. I'll see y'all next time.